Y'all got blue eyes. Feel like a 7 foot tall angel.
So what's going on, everybody?
Do I like that intro?
Yeah. Welcome to our second episode of Breeders of the Round Table. How's everyone doing?
Awesome.
Fan-flippin-tastic.
Great.
Man, so thank you everyone for showing up.
You guys got a crew here.
Guests. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
We got an awesome set of people in the room.
We got a crew minusing one that's not here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he popped in here a little while. So to start off, I wanted to touch on some pretty key points that have been going on within the community. So to start off, I want to say I'm extremely happy and proud to see the community come together for fighting to keep our snakes, our reptiles, right? So everyone has done more than enough, or they have done a lot to get their memberships for US ARC, have done a lot of giving, donations, all these giveaways that, even DMJ did the giveaways already, Billy, you did some pretty cool donating, man. You donated a lot. All of you guys did. So, thank you to everyone. It's going to go far, and it will go definitely noticed.
Yeah, Billy, especially the folks that are not in the United States that are helping and support. Like, we got people in the Netherlands and people in Sweden, and we have even got people that don't even keep reptiles that are jumping in and helping support. So it's pretty inspiring.
Awesome.
Yeah,
man,
I had family that don't keep. Basically, my whole family, I'm the only one that keeps reptiles, and I had some donate. So that was pretty cool. Just to support. They see how important it is to one, and they're fighting with us. So.
Yep, I've seen it happen. It's really cool that it is happening like that. Freaking sweet, man.
We do all this, and we've been doing it, and it's good. But I believe that the fight is far from over.
It's never going to be over.
Never going to be over. Yeah.
We
Still fighting.
We donated, and we see ongoing that people have donated. We got our memberships, but it's important. Like I heard Botrt say, to continue and do a donation, $5 here, $10 there, and it's all important. It'll go towards a good cause. Hold on, we got Joe jumping in.
Joe, what's up, Joe? Welcome back to the party, Joe.
That's not Joe.
It's just me. Hi, sorry. First time doing this by myself, so just try to, jump in fast as I can.
Okay. So it's all good. It's all good. So we've faced many challenges in this past year, with the pandemic and a whole bunch of things going on. But a lot of people a lot of people broke out as they went from keepers to breeders, or they jumped straight into breeders. It seemed like a big push of people came out from this. So from all these people, who have you noticed that has really stepped up to the plate? I know I have noticed one in particular. His name is Nico. This kid, he's breeding. He just had his first clutch of eggs for lychees. So he's really stepped up to the plate, and he's showing what he can really do, his full potential.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you guys have noticed anybody in the community as well that has stepped up to the plate and really showing some full-on interest.
I think so many.
Yeah, there's lots.
Just people. I mean, you look at all of us waiting for Freedom Breeder racks and ARS racks. Like, everybody's just like, fuck it, I'm upgrading my racks, I'm buying more. We're all waiting for racks. Coconut Hut, same stuff. People's purchases, you can see that they're serious in themselves. they know that this is what they like and what they want to be a part of, and they're investing in the higher end animals now. So there's so many. I mean, I could name like 50 right now that I know, just like, you know, going outside their normal comfort zone, getting that, you know, double recessive or that powerhouse, or that's the power animals for the future. And that's what I think is great, is the future. There is a future here. And that's why, you know, it's always been, I've been told every single year that the, you know, ball python industry is dead. It's flooded. I've heard that for so long. It ain't going anywhere. And that's another reason why we have to like promote and help support US ARC, because, you know, I want them to help us protect our future. So
Absolutely.
You know, there's a lot of push from people. Like, there's lots of people in the breeding community, in the hobby of breeding reptiles, that are supporting US ARC. It's huge with us. I think the next big push in that direction should be geared towards the average pet keeper, because there's a lot more of them than us, but a lot of people that have just one snake that are growing up that don't know anything about the community of people that are breeding animals. And anytime you get somebody new turned on to a snake, to also let them know about the legislation that's out there on a constant basis, and let them know about US ARC. For example, there's a lady that picked up a snake from us last week. She's been wanting a snake for years, and they raise horses and other things like that, but this is their first reptile they're keeping. And there's people like that are, it's growing. Like Billy said, everything's growing. It's getting bigger, and more people are getting into it. And to let those people know as well about the things like US ARC and all the different, especially just the fact that you can sign up for the newsletter and just know immediately what's going on. They have their fingers everywhere in the country to find, as soon as something happens, like, you get an email the next day to let you know that this is what's being pushed forward.
And you know what I noticed too, though? Even though the pandemic that's happening in our country, I felt like a lot of people were spending more to support and to establish the hobby. I felt like I spent more. I felt like a lot of people that were in the hobby were pushing to support this hobby that we thought was going to just kind of fall apart in a sense, and people were buying more than ever. That's what I don't know about you guys, but that's what I was sensing.
It went the other way. It definitely went the other way. If anybody who thought it was going to like affect it negatively, it certainly went there, because everybody's at home. Everybody has more time to, you know, the majority of people were stuck at home, at least for that first little while. And they're like, well, I'm at home. And then there was the stimulus check came in. It's like, well, I'm at home and I've got some money to spend. Granted, that wasn't everybody, but that was a lot of people. Like, well, I've got some time now to maybe rethink what I'm doing in my life. And I think I'm going to spend it with animals, or more with my animals than I was before. And yeah, definitely, because over Freedom Breeder in particular, everybody's kind of getting ready, like, okay, like we're gonna try and sign up for these grants, because the thing's probably gonna really slow down. Everything's gonna go, and then next thing you know is like a couple months go by. It's like, wait a minute, we don't need to apply for government grants. Like, business is doubling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going back on what Brian said, when we sell a snake, we put information on US ARC in that pamphlet with them. If we could get people who own individual snakes, like he was saying, we could get them all to spend that $40 a year. That's a huge population out there that only owns one snake, or is only purchasing one snake. Same thing at the shows. We need to be handing out. I know US ARC is usually there and is present there, but at our tables, we should be handing out information on US ARC.
Yeah. Actually, JR and I talked about this last time on our Talking Balls. We were thinking about, why don't they have maybe a link to US ARC, just like the Ship Your Reptile, where they donate $1, $2, whatever it is, for breeders. If you sell a snake, they buy a snake, you send out the invoice. They have you can click on it or donate $1, $2 for everyone that's in the breeding community. Each little $1, $2 will help. As breeders. I don't know. That's something that is possible.
Every little bit helps for sure. Like, there's a lot of legal fees. Lawyers are not cheap to go in and fight these different legislations. Right. But even, I would argue, even more important than money, which it is important. Obviously, everybody here I think understands that it's important to support financially, but to actually be active in your local community, be sending in emails to the places that need them, to make people aware. Things like something that Garrett, we were traveling with him last week. My buddy Garrett over Reach Out Reptiles, and there's a father and son that are opening up a reptile shop in Arizona next month, and things like that, like the positive directions, like showing that there's just reinforcing the positive idea behind keeping reptiles as pets. That's also just as, if not more important than raising funds.
Yeah, for us, when we found out about the band in New York, we did that story, and we did a live real quick, and then we did that giveaway where we gave away two memberships for free. All we did was a quick, fun giveaway, just guess a number. And I think the two people that got it from us were actually just pet owners. It didn't even seem like they were breeders, so it was awesome to be able to give those pet owners, we covered it all. We gave them the bronze membership, so they got the free T-shirt as well. And as long as we're spreading it out, any little help, because they can spread that, oh, look, this breeder or these guys, they sponsored us to get this membership. So little by little, the word will get out to more people. And even for us, like our family members, they donated because they know what we're doing, and they want to contribute as well,
Yeah, that's huge. You having family join in that aren't even necessarily keepers themselves. That's somebody's dog is going off hardcore.
Yeah.
That's one of those Chihuahuas, Mrs. Mary?
No, that's a bigger dog.
Oh.
You want to be on the last
Chihuahua.
So what do you have, like, if you guys could give one piece of advice to all these new people that joined in the community, what would you have to tell them?
Run away! No, just kidding.
One piece of advice. Hey, don't blow your check on.
I was just kidding. Go hide in your room by yourself with your snakes. Don't talk to anybody. It's dangerous out here.
Get off Morph Market.
I tell you,
stick to Craigslist.
Morph Market is an addiction. So
Morph Market has revolutionized snake sales for sure. John's doing a great job over there with that site from the beginning to now. He's always growing it, making it better and better. He's doing a great job.
Yep.
It's snake porn over there.
I had a shortcut on my screen, so I'm always click, one click away.
I get that email every morning about what's the new hottest ball python, or the each picture that pops up every week in your email. I had to stop. I had to turn it off because I couldn't keep looking at what was coming out. Right?
I saw that fucking feature. I'm like, fuck that.
Billy, there's gonna be this stimulus check supposedly is hitting like this weekend. I think it sounds like it's gonna hit a lot of people that had direct deposit from tax returns. It sounds like it's gonna be hitting on Monday. So I think that Morph Market is gonna maybe crash this Monday, possibly.
Yeah, it's gonna crash.
Right. It's already on its way. So this week, definitely people will be getting it.
They already started saving them, huh? Started saving the snake.
Saving. They put deposit on it already.
Wish list.
It's cool because Chris goes on Morph Market, and she even looks at animals. Every day. Checks out. She tells us like, "Hey, look at this, look at this." So
add this to the collection. Start breeding these. That's all she does every single day to us.
There's Matt. I thought Matt was going to be here. Then I didn't hear him say nothing yet, but I just found his screen. There he is.
What's up, Matt? You got no music jamming in the back, bro? So, in your opinion, the future of the reptile world, what do you think is going to be the next top morph or top reptile?
Go Matt.
He's gonna say bloods.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, I think short tails, in my opinion, well, ball pythons will always rule the roost, But I think blood pythons and short tail, as a whole, the Borneos, Curtis, Sumatrans, and especially bloods, I really feel like they have a strong future because so many people like morphs and shit that, there's so many that are coming out. And that whole stigma of, oh shit, they're going to fuck me up. That whole thing's it's a snake, dude. Your ball python can do some damage. I mean, but yeah, I think, in my opinion, but I'm biased. So I mean, I don't. As far as like, yeah, ball pythons will always be the top.
Well, I like blood. Oh,
What's
nice.
that? What you got there, dude?
Everyone's head.
One's hat.
Are those the blood that
Is that clutch you had with a
Yeah.
short tail?
Yeah, that's sangria's baby. Right?
nice?
Oh, he can't.
I had a bad experience with those blood python though. When I started keeping snakes, there were blood pythons they were nippy. They were just always want to attack. So, and then now I feel like they're more docile because of captive bred and all this stuff. They're more docile. But before, maybe 10 years ago, they were just
yeah. I mean that has slowly but surely. Some of them just like they all have personalities, just like all of us, But I mean, the majority of them have. Yeah, that temperament's been bred right out of them. A lot of those were imports that just came from farms and, Indonesia and Southeast Asia and shit. And
what's wrong with those places?
To not be skinned for leather, to be honest. So yeah, I think they're tough too, So, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Brian? What do you think the next big reptile will be, if anything?
I agree. Blood pythons and short tails.
Okay.
For a lot of the reasons you just mentioned. No, I'm not just backing you up because I really love you and I know you're way into short tails and bloods, but I learn more things about them every day that make me love them even more. Like their level of intelligence as far as snake intelligence goes is highly underrated, and the fact that there's a lot more captive breeding going on with them, and the fact like it's going to be Noah's first snake that he keeps and takes care of by himself.
Yeah.
Is going to be a blood python. They're highly underrated and overrated. People think they're going to mess you up, like you said, which was true of most snakes that are real close to captive or real close to wild caught in the breeding stock. But they're so cool, dude. They're so cool, and if you're keeping ball pythons, the switch to keeping blood pythons or bringing blood python in as well is there's like nothing you need to change, almost nothing. Right? Is that right?
Just the temperature, man. I mean, and essentially they take bigger tubs, but I mean, a lot of people want them in those 4x2s, but I mean, where, B's in an FB90 and she's enormous, they can be kept. ARS makes great racks, if you want them in a 4x2 vision cage, you can do that, but they do require, Brian has his in a much bigger, place than I have mine, to be honest with you, but Matt Minatola, Dave Kaufman did a great video with Matt Minatola a couple of years ago. And Matt flat out said, he was like, they don't like big space. A lot of them don't like
Matt's a great guy, too.
Yeah, he's good people. He's a Wu-Tang Clan fan, so he's definitely good people. He comes from good stuff. Yeah. So I just don't see, and especially if people really paid attention, because there's 3 different species you can pick from, man. You can either get a Curtis, which is an orange head. You can get the black, like everybody, they call them black bloods, which they're not. They're not black bloods. They're Sumatrans. But I mean, hey, it's all right, whatever. They've been called black bloods for decades. So, but anyway, those are the less temperamental. A good YouTube channel to check out is just Dan Magano Snakes. Because Dan Magano is one of the most, he's an asshole, but, he's a good dude. And he's incredibly informative. His videos have no editing. They're just his bald ass sitting at his kitchen table with a snake, but he's spitting nothing but in knowledge. So it's like you're just sitting there, and it's like if you really want to learn some things about it, that's where I would direct you, because he's so informative.
He's way more intelligent than he lets on. Way more intelligent than he lets on. That's for sure.
That's what it is. His IQ so high, he gets frustrated with normal people's shit. So yeah, that's why I think he.
Oh, I know what that's like. Oh.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same thing, but I didn't think you'd get
it, Brian.
Oh man.
Someone else thinks the next big reptile will be, if anything, besides ball pythons.
You were talking about, like, you know, the short tails have such a bad, you know, nostalgia to them for being so snippy and bitey. You know, my Doomrose boa is like the biggest baby in the freaking world, at 5.5 feet long, you know, 4,000 plus grams. I jump more when I go to reach in and grab a damn hatchling ball python than I do reaching in the cage and trying to get her out, you know, because they're quick, you know, but she's just laying all underneath her substrate, you know, just wait for somebody to come up and, you know, mess with her, and she just does nothing. So I don't know.
Did you say a Doomrose boa?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Doomrose are nice. Boas.
Are you into boas too, Billy?
I got some. Yeah, I've got
he does.
a few. And I got some more coming up. I got some adults coming up probably next month. And I'm still looking for the right ones. But I'm looking for some other species too. You know, just for, you know, my own sort of collection so that I can appreciate them and you know, learn about them. Maybe not for breeding purposes, but the boas is the next step. I do have some hog noses as well that Chris from the Reptile Ward has, and we're working together on that. Or he's working on it. I'm just sitting back and
reaping the benefit.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's something where I'm going to get more involved with it now. And I just want to, you know, now that this is my full-time thing, I'm going to concentrate on more species and, you know, enjoying what I do more instead of, you know, trying to enjoy it, then running over to the other job that I had with my other company and back and forth, running myself thin. Now I don't have it. Now I'm just running myself thin with what I love to do. So, you know.
I don't know.
Well, Billy, how long?
That's awesome.
Billy, how long you been doing this full time now? Breeding.
This is my first year.
First year, okay.
So I could have probably 2-3 years ago. But I wouldn't be where I'm at, you know, because and it's what I tell people too. You know, depending on what you want out of your collection and how much you want to make, I don't think if you take a lot out and don't put any back in or reinvest it, you can't keep growing. So last year I was like, do I really want to, you know, give up the other company, which is very, you know, I'm great at it. I love it. It's actually fun. And I'm sitting there going, well, if I take it, and I knew by me, you know, jumping out of it and just doing this as a full-time business, I wouldn't be able to do what I did before, because now by living off of it, I have to take money out where normally I would reinvest it because I could live off of my other income. So all this other income was just growing, newer racks, more racks, bigger place, better animals.
So Billy, when you're saying this is your first year, do you mean like the acquisition of the new facility is basically marking the beginning of the as full-time business, or did you start a little before that?
Actually, March, when I got back from Colombia, I got back on the 13th of March, 2014. Holy shit. 2014.
Yeah, last year.
Like, fucking Corona's been around that fucking long. Right. You know, 2020. And I had to go in, I think in April, just to do like a service call at one of the Costco's that I did. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to go and wear a mask and all this shit. And, you know, I hate working nights because I got used to for so many years, I'm just running myself like, 18-hour days, 7 days a week. My night schedule, I'd start at 3, 4 in the morning, work until like 1 or 2, go to the facility for 3, 4 hours, go home, get some rest, surf Morph Market, answer questions, head to bed, do the same fucking thing every day. And then when I didn't do that, because COVID was there, everybody was like, stay away. We don't want anybody coming in. Everybody was just scared. It was like, man, you know what? I like being able to sleep, instead of working, from 4 a.m. until 8, 9 o'clock. I want to, my whole schedule changed. And I'm like, you know what? I want to go in and spend more time. And then when I would go into the facility, I was seeing what Austin and Elian, and at that point too, we didn't even have Catherine. So I was seeing what they were doing and how much work they were putting in, and what they had to, because we were crammed in there. So I'm just like, man, how do you guys work like this? It's like, well, fuck, we have no choice. I'm like, well, yeah, but still, man, like seeing it, right, and seeing what they put up with, and I don't realize it because I'm not there all the time. I would always come in after, and I just said, you know what, I love doing this. I love being here. I'd rather do this. Because every other time I would come after my work. I put an 8 to 10, 12-hour day in, and then I'd have to come to the facility for hours. And it was still fun, but it's not as fun as when you can wake up, just go to the facility, and you're not tired. And wow, man. And that's when I just realized, like, this is what I want to do. And, I'm like, so technically, it's actually almost 1 year to the day where I've been pretty much doing this full time as an income.
So what's the reassessment on the Canada show happening? Is there a reassessment at this point? Because
no idea. I mean, I'm not sure. Like, they just started opening up like last week, where you can actually go into a restaurant and eat. Home Depots are open now finally, where you can actually go in and buy something instead of curbside. And it's been over 3 months, like 111, 112 days in some industries where they had no business. They weren't even allowed to open. So it's just nuts. So, but no, I'm glad. I love what I do. I'm growing. And even then, I mean, and that's just, I just tell people, go with how you feel and what you want. And I can do this because I've been doing it my entire life, getting to where I am right now. We're in a pandemic. I just quit my other job, which was great, let me just do this full time. We're in a pandemic. I can't ship my animals. I hope, people are still going to buy. I said, fuck it. I'm going to do this full time. Let's look at a building. Let's renovate. Let's spend all the money that I've made. Let's put it back in and just roll the dice. And I did. And I'm very happy I did, because I think I'm in a great position. And it just shows other people that the industry's strong. It's great. There's money in it. And do what you like to do. I mean, I love what I do, and that's why you see me putting in all my time. I love buying animals. I love making animals. I love helping people. I love guiding them. The new facility is just something where, hey, if I'm going to spend every single, day here and 8 to 10 hours of it, I want to fucking enjoy it, So lots of space, lots of room, and a different feel. I always feel like, if you guys have Malamine racks for the first 2 years starting out, and then you start making money, when you buy that first ARS rack or the Freedom Breeder rack, man, that's the best fucking thing for the next 6 months, man. Oh my God. You get to feel that, because that's hard work. That's belief in your hobby, belief in your business, belief in yourself. You get to see that. I always need change. I mean, if I'm in the same place 10 years later with the same rack, same thing, there's no change, I don't think I've done anything. I'm fucking just sitting there like, what have I done in 10 years? I want to keep evolving. I need that. That's just me personally. But
Kathleen was in the chat about 5 minutes ago. She's like, Billy's being real quiet. I knew you would fix it.
Sorry, guys. But no, I mean, I just think that, the whole industry is growing, and people, I think COVID snapped me out of my reality check, and it's like, hey, man, this is what I really want to do. And whatever I have to do from this point on to do this as a living, that's what I'm going to do. And
that's what I was saying at the beginning. COVID, I think, snapped a lot of people in that direction.
I believe so. And I mean, it's great, because it actually, if you believe in yourself and you believe and love what you do, it'll take you to where you need to go. I believe that. As long as you put in the work, It's all these people going, I'm so confident with this job because I don't want to take the risk just in case. I think COVID basically put everybody at home saying, hey, man, you're out of a job. Now you're here. You're doing this. And people are like, fuck, I love doing this. I don't want to fucking go back to my job. And what do I need to do from now on? I think COVID really snapped a lot of people, saying, hey, guys, if you really want to do this, grab it by the fucking balls and take it and go for it. And I think many people have, and I think many people are going to do well with it as long as they, spend properly and know what they're doing and put the work in. And number one, enjoy and love what you're doing.
And
the pandemic really did break me out.
Yeah, I think
was
that's
that Owen?
I think that's
just to piggyback on what you got Billy was saying. Comfort is the enemy of progress. So as much as you want to keep growing and evolving and seeing some kind of results, that's what you're striving for. Billy. A lot of us here are striving to see results. So I always take that comfort is the enemy of progress to heart, because if you don't get out of your comfort zone, if you don't want to just step up your game, you're going to be in that comfort zone. You're not going to go anywhere. So I know exactly what you're saying, Billy, and it's an inspiration to all of us, and it's awesome that I can see you doing this full time, and it's your 1 year, and that's awesome because it's opportunity for everybody else to do the same thing. That we can do it as long as you believe in what you can do.
Yep.
That is awesome.
I know the pandemic really, what it did for me was it showed me that I can do it. You know what I mean? I've always kept, but I didn't keep a large amount. I kept, but because of work, and I work away from home, so I'm 2 weeks away from home at a time, and then home for 2 weeks at a time. It was difficult. But now that I'm home, working from home, this really showed me that I can really balance and do more with it, So pushing myself and getting myself more out there, seeing you guys on camera and all this and that really motivated for me to get on camera and do more with the hobby, So, I mean, it's really cool to see to what extent someone can take this to. So,
yeah, with the pandemic, I think it boosted us too, because we were just, hobby collectors. We had a few animals in the house, and then, out of nowhere, I mean, like Billy said, we just grabbed it by the balls and we're like, you know what? Let's go for it. Like we got our racks in.
I think we have a
we lost. Yep, we got a hitch.
So
they'll come back. The Irish always bounce back.
They get lucky.
Like what Billy was saying, he's talking about having melamine racks and whatnot. I'm sitting here. I started off with melamine racks, and now I've got an ARS 7020 sitting right behind me. And for real, it's a fucking night and day difference between the two. Like, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a night and day difference, but it is a huge night and day difference between melamine versus an ARS rack.
Yeah, but you know what? To me, we do this and we love our animals. And if you can do this, and I mean, this is I'm speaking to me personally, and I think I can speak for many people. Some people are happy with a melamine rack, with their snakes. They may breed, they have a collection, they enjoy the animals, it comforts them, it's their escape, and it's their pets, and they never want to breed at all. But then some people do. But all I know is I work so hard and I love what I do. I want to keep growing. I want to see change. I want to see things go from good to better to best. And it's it takes time. But I need that. I need to see that all this hard work is worth something, But not everybody needs that. But I think I do. I need that. That's just something that fills me for all that work and stuff that I put in. I want to see it evolve.
Nothing has a payoff like hard work, man. Exactly. Hard work is the biggest. It's cliche. Hard work is its own reward. But if you've really put in some work to something, you know that that's true, because there's nothing like feeling like if you built something, you know, just building something, constructing something with your bare hands and then having it and looking at it. It's like the feeling of pride, the feeling of time well spent that you get from doing something like that is, you can never compare. Like, you could go and buy the same thing you just built, and it's great. You got it. You paid for it. You got it. It's like, oh, look at this nice thing. I just bought it. It's nice. But the amount of satisfaction you get from that thing is not going to be anywhere near the previous where you built it yourself. It's just not. It's just not the way it works. Like, you could catch you catch a car to the top of the mountain, or you can hike to the top of the mountain. I promise you, as somebody who's ridden in many cars and hiked to the top of many mountains, every time the view is so much better if you hike.
Yep. And when people realize that, they don't mind putting in the work. See, people always want to take shortcuts. They want to, they don't want to raise a hatchling. They want to buy a fucking adult. They want to take all, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you lose so much. You lose, there's so much more, you're gaining some things, but you're losing a lot of other things that people just don't see.
It's finding that thing that you really enjoy, that you can take, that you enjoy the ride, you enjoy the process, the progress of getting there. The end, getting to the destination is not what it's all about. It's enjoying every step of the way to get there, and then ultimately not even have an destination. It's just one peak, and then you hit that one, then you're like, there's the other one in the distance, and it keeps revealing itself as you start cresting the first peak.
That's a mindset. I mean, if you think like that, it totally changes your goals. It changes your mood. It changes, how you think. And I think that's huge in this industry. It's not like, oh, I got to do this. I got to be the first. I got to make this. I got to cash in. I got to get my investment back. You're in it for the wrong reasons. I mean, when I get my investment back, it could be 5-10 years. I don't even know. All I know is I buy amazing shit. I make amazing shit. I keep most of it. I sell what I don't want. I know I'm making money because I'm growing and I'm paying the bills, but it's not like, oh, I got to do this. I don't buy things because, oh, I got to buy this so I can make 20 of these so I can sell them and make this much. That's the last thing that goes on in my head. It's projects. It's what I want to make. It's what I'm trying to make for the future, and I enjoy every step of it.
Yeah. I don't think there is an end goal to this hobby or business. This thing is just, there's so many to do, so many morphs to work with. I just don't believe there's an end goal. I think there's always going to be that next level that we have to climb.
Oh no, there is. It's Enchi, Desert Ghost, Sunset, Clown Pied. That's what it is. Yellow belly.
Answer what?
Sorry. I don't take myself too seriously.
I do like your sunset that you were showing last time. When you sent to Brian Barchek, those were nice.
I still have to fall in love with it. I still got to fall in love with it. I like it. I just don't love it yet. Create something, Brian. Keep going, man.
Oh yeah, I'm going. I've been making the same thing the last 3 years because, well, I have reasons for why I've been doing that. But I'm working on it. We might, odds wise, Justin's probably going to make it first, so we'll see what he does over there.
Yeah. It's all right.
Which is fun. I love watching Justin work, man. When it comes to breeders and ball pythons, watching Justin is. We were sitting there one time at Earl Jones' place in Texas, and Chase and I were observing. Justin was observing Earl's snakes, and Chase and I were sitting in the corner observing Justin observing the snakes, and we're like, look at that! Like, look at the way he's looking at it. Look at the way he's like, just you could see his mind working and going. It's like, that's fun to watch. It's really fun to watch.
When I got to my parents' house, my mom, she's not into the snakes, but she's into the news, right? So she's like, "Hey, did you see that guy make that snake on CNN?"
Oh yeah, he was on there. That's next level. I when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I got to think of something to call the news and be like, look, check out this thing, guy. You need to run this story. That he's a marketing master, dude. That guy.
Yeah, I mean, it was on. She goes, "How did they make the happy faces on it?"
That's the other thing, man. That's the other thing is bringing people that weren't into it to realize that snakes are not scary and they're not something that are slimy. And that's the biggest thing for me still, man. That's always my favorite part of the hobby is watching other people overcome their fear and aversion of snakes. There's nothing more powerful than seeing somebody go through that moment and go from fear to appreciation and even love. I mean, I think that transcends snakes or reptile keeping or anything like that. It's just watch somebody go through that process is just, it's like magic. And I've said this before, and I will say this until the day I die. The great thing about snake keeping and the great thing about turning people onto it is to end a little bit of that fear and just that's based in ignorance and a lack of knowledge, and watch them overcome that, because those are the types of steps that it takes to overcome all of the different hurdles and things that are in the way of the human species of attaining a group sense of enlightenment, if you will, like a group sense of, oh, this isn't, I don't need to be afraid here. I don't need to hate this. I don't need to, because it gets in the way of so much. It causes wars. It causes all the problems of the world. It's caused by the fear of the misunderstood.
Unknown. Yeah. Or unknown. Yeah. And it's funny because so many people, like you said, Brian, it's amazing that someone will actually touch a snake or hold it for the first time. It's just like, wow. But the reason why they do is because they're in front of you and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you're touching it. Isn't it venomous or poisonous? Well, no, if it's not, I wouldn't be doing this, you know? So once you tell them and you get that, like, however it got into their head, you know, that they were venomous or poisonous, and they're like, oh my God, I thought all snakes were. Well, no, they're not. And then, you know, then they finally maybe get the courage up because you take that off the counter. Like, there's no venom, there's no poison. Oh, okay. You know, and then you touch it, and then it's like, oh my God, they're not slimy. Like, where the fuck did that come from? You know what I mean? Like, you slowly chip away at all this nonsense that they're terrified of. And once you basically enlighten them and say, hey, they're not poisonous, they're not venomous, hey, look, they're not slimy, they'll actually start appreciating it more. And it's amazing when someone does that, because they're just like amazed, you know?
And if you can turn them around on that, I mean, that's some people are so hard set fast from that. They're like, this snake is scary, creepy. I will never touch a snake. Only snake's a good snake. Like that whole mindset, which the majority share rather than the minority, like we are. You get somebody to flip that one. Think about how many other things in their life they can flip. Well, I used to think this, but it turns out actually I was wrong. Who'd have thought? That's like the lost art these days to be like, oh, you know what? I was wrong. I
know my growing up in a Hispanic household, right? Growing up, your snakes are bad and they're evil and they're tied into all these religious ties or whatever. But when I started getting into playing around with snakes or whatnot, my parents wouldn't hold the snake. My wife just barely. We've been together 15 years. She just barely held her first snake, a little hatchling. But to her, it's like when I hold the ball python, it seems as if in her eyes I'm holding a rattlesnake. I'm playing with a rattlesnake, you know, it's wrapping around me. I can't even get near her with this thing.
Hey Rome. Hey Rome. Can you? I'm curious. What's your favorite memory of reptile keeping? Like, do you have one? Do you have like a moment that's just like the moment in reptile keeping? Like anything related to it at all? Rome, can you hear me?
I think he's frozen.
Oh, dang it! I picked. Of course,
the whole screen went frozen.
Of course, I picked the frozen guy.
The same question, McGuigan.
I just thought he was really interested in what was being said.
Can you repeat? What was the question again?
Oh, are you back, Rome?
No, McGuigan are going to answer it. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there you go.
I was just wondering what moment, if you have a moment that's like that stood out to you in all of reptile keeping, anything even slightly related to reptiles or snakes, a moment or a memory that you have. I'm curious to know.
We're answering.
All right, I failed. Obviously, maybe it's the third try. Let's go to Matt. Same question. Don't tell me he's frozen too now.
No.
He's
thinking.
Who's frozen and who's not frozen? Because
I think
We're good.
I think Rome is frozen.
I'm watching
Are
on
we
my
good?
phone
Yeah,
and I'm
frozen.
trying to watch on here to see.
I
where
think.
we are. So what was the question again?
Nope, third time's the charm. Didn't anybody ever tell you? That's it. We'll move on. Next topic.
Well, what about Mrs. Mary? I'd like to hear that question with Mrs. Mary.
Can you repeat the question? I was in the chat.
All right. Guess what? I'm pouring all these bottles in my mouth at once. All right. I see what kind of party this is. We're not.
Shining moment. I don't know.
Yeah, shining moment.
Okay, shining. Gosh,
I mean,
I
I
can't think of one moment. I know when I first got my daughter brought home a normal.
I think my moment.
Growing up as a little girl, I played with snakes and stuff. With I had 3 older brothers, so
favorite
I was
moment
a tomboy.
of keeping
So, I'm getting some reverb or something.
Can you hear me?
I think we're getting a delayed reaction. Is what we're getting.
Rome is just thawed. Or thawed.
Okay.
He's
So anyway, my daughter brought home a snake, a ball python, and I decided I had to have one too. And then I got on Instagram and found a whole community. And saw all these different morphs on, Bill's, Brian's pages, and just was hooked. I don't know if there was any one moment, but the community drew me in, and the rest is history. I think
That's definitely different than a lot of the stories I've heard for sure. That the people brought you into the keeping of the. Well, I mean, people are always there's no hobby of rep talking without people, right? But the fact that it was the community that drug you in.
Yeah.
I think so too.
What about you, Owen?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think you've got some. I think you got some crazy delay going on, Rome.
Yeah, I think his internet's messed up.
There's connection.
He was good.
What's your
We
problem?
were good.
Okay, later.
Yeah. I think you have a delay, man. So, what about you, Owen?
He's muted.
Yeah. Are y'all?
Does he know he's?
Can hear me now?
I think he's muted.
Yeah.
I think we broke.
Hey,
I think we
Owen.
broke the internet or something. I think it's broken.
Owen, we can't hear you.
Let me try something.
I'm gonna smoke this cigar real hard and maybe it'll help.
Mute. Do it again.
Oh shit! Can everybody hear everybody? We just can't see everybody.
I'll tell you this. I'm super happy to be here. I'm glad you guys invited me.
Yeah.
But I'm almost at the end of live streams. Like I'm almost at the I've hit this point where I'm like I'm almost done with live stream. Like as soon as we get back to going to shows, I think I may never do another live stream in my life. Like, it's great because we haven't been able to have shows and we're able to get together and have these conversations that we would be having at a show. And so for that, in that essence, is great. And the fact that we can have people from all over the country and the world jump in on the same discussion at the same time, fantastic. But like everything's about, we have these weekly Zooms with my family, and I've been doing those too. But even like halfway through, I'm like, there's how much time can I spend on my life on a computer, going through a camera. It's not that I don't want to be a negative Nancy about it, but apparently I am being that. The technical difficulties aren't helping. It's like, I just want to hear what you have to say, man. Please.
Okay, you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Awesome. I was on mute. Sorry. So I was gonna say my first love was coral glow or banana. And
Which
I
one
saw
was
that
it though?
probably-
Which one was it?
It was either one. I couldn't tell the difference. So it was one of those.
Y'all hear me now?
And I loved it so much. I loved it so much that I wanted to buy one, but I ended up not buying one at all. I have none in my collection. I got over 100 snakes, but no coral glow and no banana.
I can fix that for you. I'm putting a super coral glow. Whoops, I shouldn't say it out loud on the camera. I'm putting if you get your stimulus this weekend, I've got you covered on Monday. We'll get you that coral glow that you've been needing since the very beginning. I can't believe you don't have one yet.
I don't know, man. You know what it is? You know what turned me off? The freckles. It turned me off.
That turned you off.
Freckles?
I'm a whole freckle, but this is like small freckles all over the place. It just turns me off. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know.
That's why they call it banana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll eventually will move into that, but not now.
Tomorrow's the day.
Tomorrow.
That's what it is,
Tomorrow's the
tomorrow.
day.
When the stimulus checks come.
I'll message you tomorrow. That's funny though.
The coral glow was actually the second. It's funny you say it like that because coral glow was the second snake that I ever got, or second ball python I ever got was a coral glow, and I was looking for a banana and I didn't know the difference either at the time. And I asked the guy, I was like, yeah, I'm looking for banana. He's like, well, it's it's coral glow. It's basically, and it was early on. You know, it was like the female was $1,000, so not early when they were multiple thousands of dollars, but still, he was like, well, it's a coral glow. I was like, was it the same thing? He's like, well, I think like pretty much, I think. And I was like, well, okay, I'll get it. And I'll just take the chance.
Yeah.
Brian Gundy was at that show too. It's a little tiny show in Tracy, California.
Oh, that's funny.
We hear you every 2.5 minutes. We hear you, and you say, "Can you hear me?"
Yeah, you were at Nerds earlier in the year. A couple months ago.
Yeah,
And,
what a fun trip, man. What a cool crew.
I'm 15 minutes away from Nerds. I live 15 minutes away, and we stop by there every so often. But he's one of the original producers of Banana.
So Lindy Johnson found the coral glow. There was I don't want to mess up the story completely, but there was somebody had already brought it into the country. Some pet shop down in Southern California. It was a kid, and then the guy. The story was he wanted to take his wife on like a honeymoon or a vacation, and the money that Lindy paid to get the snake from him was what he used to take his wife on that trip that she wanted. And so Lindy got it from that person and then sent it to Kevin. And then Kevin bred it and proved it out as a genetically inheritable trait. And so that's where, so it was like, because Lindy and Kevin back in the day were like big partners. Like Lindy would go to Africa. We need to get Lindy on some more stories, dude. That guy has got some crazy stories as far as like, I mean, that guy was going to Africa and finding and getting snakes out there. Like that's you want to sit down and have a round table with somebody. Get Lindy Johnson on your round table, man. That'll be.
He's probably got some crazy stories out in Africa. I wouldn't want to. Third world country, man. I'm good.
You know, feeding rats to snakes is one thing. Eating rats because that's what's available to eat is a whole other thing.
That's nuts.
Yeah. That's a fun one. Yeah, lots of fun, dude. There's so many cool people out here in this thing. Everybody here, all the people I've gotten to meet because of keeping snakes has been just the biggest blessing upon my life. Dude, Billy, Matt. Now we got the Irish folks in here. We got Rome that we can hear every 2.5 minutes, and and all you guys are hosting it. It is fantastic. I love it. Like the networking. You know, networking sounded like such a weird foreign word to me for so long. I was like, that sounds very business and boring and stupid, but networking, I've learned from my buddy that it's not business and stupid, and it's fun. It's fun getting to meet a bunch of different people that are into what you're into and form all these relationships and travel around and do fun things with people. It's freaking sweet, man. It's a blast. It's a blast. And it's I feel bad when people are lost on that side of the hobby.
Networking.
So are you guys, do you have any plans to coming down to the Do you guys have any plans coming down to the Texas show in Arlington?
Coming.
You're coming?
Coming, 100%. I don't have my plane ticket yet, but I'm coming. absolutely. I was waiting on this thing because we're going to Arizona for the opening of that reptile, the grand opening of that shop, and they were waiting to get their permit. So, Billy,
they're opening this week, I believe.
Billy, you're coming to Arlington, Billy.
I wish I could get across. I can't.
Oh, right. Dang it.
I know a couple people that could bring you across.
Vacation.
No one knows how to get people across the border.
Yeah. All right. I knew I came to the right place. Now we're having fun.
Small feet, don't worry.
Really, give me a call.
We'll
work that out.
Yo, we used to take like fruit over the border and stuff across the border, and they would go through the whole car. We used to have a big van. We hide it in the compartments, and even the wheel wells.
I hope you're past the statute of limitations on.
Oh man, we don't do it anymore, but I can hide you, Billy. I can hide you somewhere.
But you're talking about fruit, man. Where I'm from, we're hiding people. I don't know if you guys seen Border Wars, but that's my hometown, dude.
Oh man,
Billy's gonna call you later.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
Where's everybody from, by the way?
Mission, Texas. Down as far south you can get in Texas.
I'm changing computers.
There you go. Now we can hear Rome.
I'm just south of Dallas.
Windsor, Ontario for
I'm just
me.
south of Dallas.
Canada.
Queens, New York.
Queens. Rome.
New York.
Can you hear us?
New computer frozen.
He's changing computers, he said.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Hey, Matt, you're from Tennessee, right?
Knoxville.
Smoky Mountain.
Appalachian Mountain boy.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Dude, Matt always sends me the best music to get my days started, man. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm always slacking on sending stuff back for you, but I appreciate everything you send me, man.
Yeah,
I really do.
only sent me one song ever in our history. Years.
That's not true. It's been at least 2 or 3. Come on.
Is it a thing you guys do? I know that I seen one of your video, Brian, that he sent you a CD. Is that something you guys do?
Well, before he sent that CD, that was his own band, but he also, like, one of the first things Matt sent me was actual physical records, like Desmond Decker records, and I was like, dude, this guy is legit. What's up?
So that's something you collect, right, Matt? You collect records.
I do. I collect records. It's an investment, man. I've got like first pressings of 3-6 Mafia 1997 on Priority Records. I've got first pressings of every Wu-Tang album ever put out. I've got Robert Johnson, the first pressing of that Robert Johnson album. I mean, yeah, dude.
Hold on, what?
It's definitely
You've got an original pressing of a Robert Johnson album?
Well, the first time that the 30s, yeah, that was the first time they ever pressed. The first time they pressed it after he died. He died right before they pressed that album, and then when people showed up to see him play right before he died, that's when the old boy just walked out with the record and started playing it.
If you can hear me, I'm full word.
Dude, that's
son,
nuts.
Of course, I keep them secrets. Well,
That's
I don't
intense.
want everybody knowing.
Well, you just told everybody. This is on the public internet, my friend.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Better,
all right,
Rome's back. Johnson in my 3-6 Mafia. I got this one. Better make right with God before you try to walk. You ain't even with my records.
I just love that you put 3-6 Mafia and Robert Johnson right in the same
category.
They're pretty important to a Tennessee boy.
Yeah, this is totally out of left field. Anybody seen the movie with Steve Vai and Ralph Macchio? I don't know why I'm spacing on the name of it. Crossroads.
Yeah.
Oh,
what movie?
Oh my gosh, I love that movie.
Crossroads. It's Ralph. Yeah, that's the story. That's the best movie I've seen on Robert Johnson that didn't have Robert Johnson in it at all.
What movie?
Netflix did a
Crossroads.
very well done documentary on.
If
on
you're
it.
into music,
and did you see that?
I no, I didn't.
They like, I mean, like, people really thought that dude sold his soul to the devil, you know? I mean, they really thought he sold his soul to the devil because, like, apparently, like, he literally couldn't play any music, went away for, like, a couple months, come back, and he's, like, shredding on guitar, and it sounds like 6 people playing guitar, and it's just one dude drunk on stage, you know? So, I mean...
We took a hard left, and I love it.
Anyway.
That was a big left, huh?
Way left.
We'll get off on some wild shit. Anyway, yeah, I'll just run my fucking mouth.
Well, that brings up another thing. I mean, we all have snakes. We all have some reptiles. What else is there? What else do you guys collect that you are willing to share out for everybody? You know,
Matt collects records, but he's not willing to talk about it on the internet.
Yeah, Matt collects records, and he's got these pretty cool shoes that he always posts.
What's that?
Matt, you already bought all I was saying that you collect records, hats, and you started collecting these shoes in every color.
Yeah, dude, the Nike D-Break 354s. Oh my god. These things are like the most comfortable things you can put on your foot. People are like, oh, hey, those new Hey Dudes. Fuck a Hey Dude. Get a Nike 354 and you'll never want to put anything on your foot again. I'm just saying. And I'm not even, hey, I don't even have a deal with Nike. The shoes are just that good.
Hey, you want to see some shoes? Well, I got your shoes right here. Well, check this out. This is what I'm wearing right now, all right? This is these are some Crocs. These are some Crocs, and they you wear them. Your big toe on the right foot might do a little extra damage, but look, I still got paint on there from the time I finally painted the last wall of my snake room. That's the little bit of color right there. These things, I wear these almost every day, bro. Look at that. See it? Can you see through your shoe like I can? That's what I want to know.
Most importantly, you still got some tread on there, man. You're good.
Oh yeah, just a little bit, huh?
You're good, bro. You ain't peeling out yet.
Even my family, who are not really big on like appearances and stuff, don't judge people on stuff. Like I wore these to the beach last week, and they're like, "Man, those are some well-worn shoes there, aren't they?" They're comfy. I like them.
That's all that matters, really.
Mike and Charlie, I think you guys collect what, sports memorabilia? I know you have that Conor McGregor in the back.
We got sports memorabilia that's behind us.
And that's just not all of it. We still got a lot of stuff in my room.
I got
all over the house.
I got sneakers. I'm a big sneakerhead, so I collect a lot of sneakers. And actually, selling some of my sneakers actually helped invest it into this breeding game. So whatever I can do to get me more involved with that, I'll sell off some of my shoes.
Dude,
Sneaker game was hard.
You said Conor McGregor. I have to admit something. I was doing some sprints this morning up the high school bleachers. I did way more than I've ever done in one day. But for some reason, I just felt I was feeling the energy. Just go. Come back down. I was like, well, I'll go again. I guess. And then when I got to the top on sprint number 40, I was like, I went on the top, and I started doing the Conor McGregor, like the full. I was like that. Oh, this is what it feels like. Yeah.
Billy, you gotta do that walk when all your haters talk to you, man. You gotta do the walk. You gotta get that suit he got too, man, with the pinstripes.
Oh, I can't wait for the rematch.
Oh man. Yeah, that's about it.
So Billy, I know you had those. You have that tarantula room you're working on.
Well, it's not actually a room. So that whole room now, I think. I actually got somebody coming over tomorrow to take a peek. I think I'm going to take the shipping area out now, put it to the back where I originally had it. And I'm going to turn it into some sort of like a reptarium looking sort of thing where I have, 8 to 10 or more different custom cages with stone in the background and just, make it look where you walk in and it's just like, wow, look at this shit.
All the exoterras. Yeah,
that's cool.
Building on bioactive enclosures are neat, man. I used to do that. It's very entertaining. Making the 3D backgrounds is what I liked to do.
Yeah. Well, the guy's coming to look at now, but I mean, it's just like, just talking to him. I mean, oh my Lord, it's not going to be cheap. I'm looking at probably 10 to 20,000 in enclosure, and I'm looking at 8
on
to 10
one enclosure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like when they're like 6 feet by 8 feet by 6 feet high with like natural, like I'm talking stone, the natural like waterfalls, ponds. Because I got to get some caiman lizards, and I want to get like some really cool shit. Mangrove, albino mangrove, just really cool things. But with the tarantulas, I've got 6, and I've reached out to Focus Cube, and I'm gonna get some custom made stuff from them, ship some stuff up. I just want to have a show area and that's the thing. I'm there all the time. The snakes I love. They'll always be my number one, but you sort of need to get out and sort of look at other stuff, and especially not having shows, because little things like that, I'd walk around and stay 6 feet away from the tarantula tables and sort of look, what I mean? And I mean,
pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID. You can go by and see other species and like, wow, that's fucking cool. Like, wow, like it's just, because I appreciate it. I want to get little things, like nothing super high end, but stuff that I really enjoy, like red-eyed crocodile skinks. Like they're just so cool. And just
I got the guy for you for those, by the way, Bill. If you don't already have a guy, I've got a guy for you.
I'm looking at some Fiji iguanas. I'm probably going to get a super crimson from Crutchfield.
Wow.
Just having beautiful animals in a like misting system, water, like maybe even bioactive, whatever. But it's going to be something I'm going to do in stages, and I'm going to film the process as well. Like, we'll get all the shells made, and then let's work this enclosure, bring the animals in. Let's do the next enclosure. Unless I run into a lot of money, then we'll get it all done at once. But it's like baby steps. But I just want to appreciate different things, and then when people come over, it's more of an experience also, where it's like, because when I started all this 20 plus years ago, I had everything. I had like geckos and iguanas, not iguanas, chameleons, lizards, corn snakes, king snakes, you name it, I had it, even frogs. And then I just decided to get out of it all and used all that money and invest in ball pythons and never look back. So now I want to have sort of, I got the room for it. So enjoy what I've got, learn about it. And actually, when people come over now, it's also a different experience.
Are you looking to create that experience for people to come and have a like kind of reptarium type of experience? Or
no? I don't have the time. My facility is a breeding facility. It's open by appointment only.
Well, Reptarium's open by appointment only.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't know that. I just don't. I don't know enough about this. What is that? It's a mangrove snake. Where do they come from? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Wow, what's that? That's a Fiji. Wow, it's so beautiful. Why is the color like that? I don't know. I don't know. What part? I don't know. Fiji?
Simple fix, but you just learn about it a little bit, man.
Correct. But it's something where, I'm so busy learning, and I've been doing ball pythons forever, and I'm still learning, and I don't want to have more on my plate, but I do want to have it where when people do come over, they have an extra experience or something. But it's more for me, and it's more for, even showing them, more for YouTube and stuff like that, just to have more stuff to film about. But I'm excited about the tarantulas, because I've actually touched them more in the last week than I have in my entire life, and I'm learning about them, and I'm fascinated by them, and I know there's so many other amazing animals out there that I want to do, but also put them in an amazing enclosure and actually sit back and just go, fuck.
I can't wait to come back out, Billy. I can't wait, dude. We have way too much fun.
Hey, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, what's going on, Rome?
Yeah.
Welcome to Readers of the Round Table.
I changed computers completely, and it was a process. Brian, to answer your question, I'll go back to that one just because you asked for that.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Huh?
They say Rome wasn't built in a day. Well,
it wasn't.
Rome was internet for about
it took 9 months. So I guess one of the main moments in my reptile keeping life was, well, there's two. One was when my 15-year-old son came to me and said, "Dad, I want to invest in snakes like you," and he handed me $500. And we found him snakes just for him, and he's got some good quality stuff now that is going good, and he's every day checking with me, every day doing everything, and that's just something me and him can do together. Second is whenever I invested, like Billy said, I invested in myself, and I started getting into higher end stuff now. Benny knows that, I bought into the Mandarin, so I have Mandarin now. I got a bamboo, female bamboo cinnamon that's head ultra male, and I'm starting to put more money into quality reptiles instead of going, well, I just want to get numbers and, just breed and breed and breed and breed. Now I'm being more specific into what I want instead of what I thought other people would want.
And you'll see how much that'll benefit you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's an important move.
It is. Yeah. It's amazing when you actually see it come together. You're like, fuck, this is how they do it. Wow, why didn't I do this fucking earlier?
Yeah, and I didn't know much about the Mandarin. I had a buddy of mine he's breeding his stuff. He's rolling the high end clown stuff and all that, and he's doing good things. And he was talking about the Mandarin, and I was just like, one day I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna jump and do it. And now I'm just so excited that I've got it, and I don't know, it's just exciting for me. And the next one is just being here, being asked to be on this with all you guys. I've watched plenty of y'all on YouTube, and so I'm the low guy on the totem pole here, but I've been doing this for a while.
Rome, he sent me that picture. He goes, "Hey, look, check out what I just got." Right, show me the Mandarin. First thing I said, I was like, "Man, how much you want for that thing?" I immediately wanted to snatch it off him.
Yeah,
but
Mandarin is nice, dude. Mandarin is nice.
And the thing is with it, like, if you don't know what you're looking for, it looks like a normal. Yeah. It just looks like clean, kind of smooth normal. And then I had to really vet the guy that I bought it from just to be like, hey, I need to make sure that this is legit if I'm spending so much money on it. And I'm just glad I did it. It's just a big turning point in my career or hobby career, whatever you want to call it, that I'm at. But
where are you at, Rome? That's the other question I asked everybody that didn't get.
Oh, I'm actually located in Fort Worth. Yeah, I will be at NRBC.
I'll see you there, buddy.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh my God, I've needed to go to Reptile Show so bad.
We actually
holy shit.
We actually just have Repticon this weekend. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Repticon.
Were you there, Ron?
No, I didn't go to this one.
Did you go to Repticon?
No, I didn't go to this one. I had too much stuff going on this weekend for me to go. The people that did go, they said there's only like 4 real breeder tables there. And so, and it's about 35 minutes away from me where they were. So I kind of was just like, well, let me know if there's something really cool there and I'll just send you the money. Because I got, that one guy that I trust completely. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Mary didn't come back empty-handed, though.
We picked up an inchy banana female. No.
Oh, right on.
I'm proud of myself for not buying multiple female bananas, but yeah, she's a nice looking inchy banana female. So McGuigan brothers, I don't think you guys got to talk about your crowning moment. I just want to say you guys are on fire. Benny was talking about people on fire. You guys are just all over Instagram. Get to know the community. The community is getting to know you guys, and I think you guys are doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
But how about you guys? How'd you get in?
For us, he bought us. What'd you buy?
I bought an albino het pied as my first snake, and it all started with the one guy that we bought it from because he was just a great guy. Like it just showed like what the ball python, the reptile community could bring. It was just such a dope guy, and he was just like, hey, how much do you like? He was selling me this snake, and he was like, you know what? For you, I'll cut you the price in half. You can have this snake for this much. And like just from there, I loved the whole reptile community. I bought my snake on albino head pied. He ended up buying his snake, which is a blue-eyed Lucy. And then it just started growing from there. A month later, we bought our next snakes. We both had another snake. Then after that, we both had 2 more snakes. And then after that, it just turned into what it is now.
Yeah, I think when he wanted to jump into it, you know, he was younger at the time. So me being older than him by 10 years, you know, I was like, wow, you know, my brother wants to do this now. When I was younger, I wanted to do it. And I didn't have the opportunity because, you know, I didn't have the knowledge and you know, the internet wasn't as accessible where, you know, you could go on YouTube and listen to different people and information out there. So when he finally got into it, it made me get that drive back too. And I was like, you know what, I need to get myself one. And then, like you said, you know, I got 2, he had 2, then we bought 4. And from there, it just took off. And, you know, like you guys said, during the pandemic, I know we got cut off before, but during the pandemic, we just grabbed it, like Billy said, by the balls and just went head on. You know, like we knew this is what we wanted to do. And once we got into it, like
it just kept going.
It just felt great. And then we didn't introduce ourselves to anybody until November. And, you know, it's amazing to see how much the community has accepted us. And, you know, we talk to everybody as much as we can. We like to do live with anybody that we can because it gives us opportunity to pick their brain, learn something new. You know, as rookies, we don't know everything, and we don't.
Every single day. Like,
every day, learn something new.
When I heard it from somebody, the day you stop learning in this community is the day you're just done with it. And so we're learning every single day, and we love it.
So watching anybody on YouTube or watching these live, you know, even if we're just chatting to people, it's awesome, and it's great to see how the community is when you don't see it outside of just your home. You know, if you're not in it, you won't really know it. So to see it and then to see like our family gets to see it too now, it's awesome. So we appreciate that you guys like, you know, welcome us onto the show. Like how Rome said, you know, we're probably lower than any of you guys because we're just starting off. We're not even a full year in.
It's like that scene from Wayne's World. Like when we heard that we could be on this show, we're like, we're not.
I know. Hey, when Benny asked me, I was like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
We said the same thing.
Hey, you guys bring the vibe though, man. I'll tell you that. I've watched several of you guys' videos and I don't know if it's just the New York thing or the Irish thing that really vibe with me because I've always loved everybody I met from New York, and I also love Irish people. But I'll say that you guys do bring the vibe. So
that's all it is, man. We're just trying to be ourselves on here. Like everyone says, like when you said like, what do you give advice to like all the other people that want to get into this? Like it sounds like cliche, but it's just be yourself. That's what we're doing. We're just doing what we want to do. We're breeding what we want to breed. We're putting out what we want to put out, and it's just working for us, and it'll work for everyone else too.
And we're just appreciative, you know, like we said, the community is so big from what we see, and to be welcomed by everybody, and you know, hear from other people, it's awesome to us, you know. So
it's funny.
What I tell people, you know, when they ask me about, you know, getting into the hobby, I tell them stay off social media like Facebook groups, because holy cow. And you got people in there that just.
I was gonna say it's funny how bipolar it can be.
Yeah,
it's like this great. I love everybody. Fuck you! You're the worst person I've ever in my life.
Oh my god! I can't believe your snakes live in that container.
Exactly.
The Instagram community is definitely a lot better than the Facebook community.
It is. And
Facebook will crush your soul, man.
The community was going to be very, you know, harsh. You know, like they're like, oh, who are these guys? Who do they think they are? So
Facebook's full of haters.
Yeah, but seeing on Instagram how everybody's so welcoming, it's like, wow, you know, like this is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Facebook, I mean, thick skin to even talk about it on Facebook. Just to be real, I don't give a shit, you know. But I mean, people will cut you apart, and for no reason, you know. And that's driving a lot of the old heads to where they don't even want to be on social media. They don't want.
Dude, Matt, can we talk about your special relationship and lady friend, or is that like your records and we can't do it here?
Why? I mean,
I'm just asking. You can say no.
I mean, Sure, dude. You just like rubbing it in my face, I feel like.
No, rubbing it in your face. You rubbing it in my face all the time. Hey, Brian, look at this screenshot. Hey, here's another screenshot. Oh, yeah. I asked her if she wanted to come on your show. She said, I just want to talk to Matt.
Well, you can send the messages through me and I'll Anyway, no, I guess, so that would be, what was your question earlier? You asked, like, a valuable...
The shining moment in snake keeping experience.
So, the shining moment for me was when I fucking hounded Tracy Barker enough to where she wrote me back an email, and
now they're pen pals.
And yeah, I mean, one thing led to another, and dude, you know, whenever, I mean, she just became a good friend and mentor, you know.
Does anybody not know who Tracy Barker is? Nobody wants to say anything. Everybody knows. That's why. Everybody knows.
This is my son that jumped in with me.
What up?
What's up, buddy? Hey, good job on jumping up. And I know you can't hear me in the headphones, but
hey, he says good job.
Yeah.
Brian says good job.
Way to take the plunge and make the commitment.
Yeah. Then I'm like, hey, time to clean snakes, and he's like,
I like cleaning up the snakes. It's fun.
You're not.
I like spending money irresponsibly on snakes.
Apparently,
that always seems like it's a good idea at that time.
Yeah. I instantly have
No more boys
every time I buy
right now.
something.
You know what I love more than anything, to bring it back full circle, is blowing a bunch of money that I really don't have to spend on, like, a pie that somebody like drew a penis on at the U.S. Ark auction. It's like, oh, that pie's worth $1,500 and you know it. That's what I love.
I instantly have buyer's remorse whenever I buy something for me. So whenever I get on Morph Market and I hit, you know, boom, and I talk to people, I'm like, yep, I want it. Like 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh, should I have done that?
Yeah, wait till you're walking out of a U.S. Ark auction have you spent, you know, way too much money on a dildo or something. Talk about buyer's remorse.
We've decided we have way too many boys, so the solution is just buy a lot more females.
Oh, I thought you meant on the stream. I was going to agree. What's the biggest mistake you made in keeping reptiles? Go.
Oh.
I think buying more males than females in the beginning.
That's what made me think of it.
Yeah, really.
Buying quality first.
Buying.
Not doing
overbuying was my mistake.
Into what I was buying. That was mine, for sure.
Mine was just buying anything and everything that I could get my hands on.
Anything, everything.
Yeah. I agree. Instead of picking your
but I mean, I think everybody could, maybe everybody that I know started there. Like they were just excited about it, and you buying shit, you know. And I mean, that was true for me. Even whenever I started getting into shorties, I was like, "Oh fuck, oh this one's awesome. Oh, I need this one. Oh, I need this one." And I mean, that turned into, you know, fuck, I got way too many of these motherfucking snakes. I don't need to buy
I did that with Burmese. I got a few Burmese that I had, and it was just like, oh, I want to burn. Let me just get it. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I got like 5 of the same ones, but they don't look the same. And and then I get the big, 12-foot male with like a 2-foot female, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? So, and then it was just like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna
that sounds irresponsible. We should pass some laws against that.
Right? And then, and then I just focused on balls after that. So I realized, you know what, I'm not ready for Burmese or anything like that. So
yeah,
and that's part of the hobby is yeah. I mean, that's part of the hobby is knowing when you're not ready for something and when you are ready for something as well. you know, and then I realized that I wasn't ready, and you know, and now I'm focusing more on this stuff.
Good. Now, Brian, are you from Hawaii?
No, sir.
He's Scandinavian.
What?
Although I said no, sir. Although people from Hawaii will try to convince you otherwise.
So why?
I lived there for 4 years.
That was probably a good 4 years.
It was. I was in the Navy, and 24/7 sunshine, and it was nice.
Not for 4 years straight. It wasn't.
Billy, what's that?
I said not for 4 years straight. It wasn't. No.
Weather's always nice there.
What 4 years were you
Most
there?
of the time. Oh, that was a while back. 80s.
80s.
Late 80s, early 90s.
I know you went up to Poly Coast one night and it was like 55. Come on.
Poly Coast? What island is that?
The Poly Highway. You went Poly Highway. You went over Poly Highway one night at like 2 a.m. It was like 55 one time, guaranteed. Sorry, I'm talking big shit.
I
mean, when I was in the Army, I lived in Alaska for 4 years.
At that time of morning, I was in no condition to know what was going on around me.
I loved some of the military folks that had just bought a brand new car with the with their signing bonus. Yeah. And we'd race up the Poly in the middle of the night. Oh, it's so much fun. You'd see a guy and you'd be leaving Waikiki after we play a gig and like leaving Waikiki and you just see that guy and be like, oh, yep, we're going. Oh, so much fun. Billy, let's go to vacation in Hawaii. I want to take everybody. Let's go. I haven't been back in like three years, which is insane at this point.
Yeah, that's one place I haven't gone yet.
Let's go. Let's go, dude.
You just came back from Colombia, you said, right?
I'd love to
Yeah, Colombia.
again.
Yeah.
Was it just business or pleasure? Like, were you out there looking for snakes in the jungles, or?
I was trying to get a better price for all the cocaine that I snort daily.
I was gonna say, you better.
It's like, man,
you're closer to me.
I can't buy snakes and cocaine, so fuck, I gotta get a discount. You know, 'cause I'm not stopping buying snakes. So, hey man,
Well, make sure you save.
Somehow.
Make sure you save some stuff that hasn't been stepped on for me. I've still yet to have anything like that.
No, it's just a pleasure.
I want to go to the Ivory Coast and go catch some wild.
Some wild. I want to go catch some wild too. That's what it's all about. It's going out there and catching some of that wild. Yeah, that's exactly what it's all about.
There were new morphs there.
Oh, wild animal, yeah. There you go, mate.
Wild.
Yeah, I miss traveling. That's one thing. That
Wild snakes, wild buck python.
Yeah, wild snakes. Yeah, we saw quite a few. I mean, there was a lot of cool stuff there. But it's just pleasure. I mean, I do need to get away once in a while. I love to travel. We usually travel 4 times a year. And last year I was going to travel 6 times a year. Or 6 times a year. Last year I was going to travel 6 times a year. No, I was going to travel 6 times that year. Jesus. But yeah, and when I got back 3 weeks later, I was supposed to come to the UK and hang out with some people and go to the Doncaster show. And, you know, that didn't make it. And then I was supposed to go to Ham, and that didn't make it. Tinley and everything else. It just sucks. So we didn't even have our own show. We haven't had a show in 13 months in Canada.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it sucks. But I do miss traveling.
Move to Texas, Billy. Just move to Texas. Everybody's
It seems like a lot of the shows are going to be down here in the South.
Yep.
With all these bans being lifted, so.
Yeah, Texas is live.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, New Hampshire's lifted too a little bit. I think we got another show coming up on the 28th.
Yeah, we were going to
New Hampshire.
Yeah.
The Ham show? Somebody's going to the Ham show?
No,
It's called New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Hampshire.
Nerd.
Yep.
Live free or die, baby. Live free or die. It's the freaking best state motto I've ever heard in my life.
That's right. No tax even, so it's the best state.
Live free or die. I mean, can you think of something better? I can't.
Sounds like the name of a movie, huh? Like Bruce Willis would be starring on that.
Live free or die.
A romantic.
Okay, guys. So we've come to a part of a show where it's more on a. We ask you guys some hot seat questions, right? It goes both ways. You guys are allowed to ask us, and we can ask you. Try to keep it clean. Try to keep it.
define clean.
Oh, not that part of the show. I can't handle that part of the show. Okay.
So I'm gonna start it off by asking Billy. I gotta ask Billy a question. It's I got to, bro. So, from your crew members in your facility, who's the one that gives you the hardest time?
Austin.
You didn't even think.
Not at all.
It's just right there. Bam. Austin.
It's that pushback, isn't it, Billy? It's that pushback.
No, it's not that. I mean, I have a huge respect for him, obviously. He is. I am giving him a percentage of the company probably this year, next year. For all of his hard work and mutation creation wouldn't be as big as it is without my crew and especially him. But no, it's like I'm so, and it's been so many years. Like even when Austin's been like 4 or 5 years with me, and it's only up until last year that I would even let him feed my animals, because I'm just like it's always been something I've done, feeding my animals, and now it's sort of like giving him more reign. Like, hey, now you can do some other stuff. And just like the way he cleans a rack, I'm like, why are you doing it that way? Oh, that's my system. I'm like, no, but do it this way. And it's always like, no, as long as it gets done. And my way's faster. It's not fucking faster. How is it faster? If you're cleaning 40 tubs and you're filling with 40 cups, it's going to take the same fucking time if you go left to right or up and down. It's still the same amount of fucking work. It's, you know what I mean? It's not faster by pulling them out in a different fucking order. But nope, you can't tell the kids, right? Like, no, my way's faster. I'm like, okay. But then what happens is, and you know what? If he does that, that's awesome. But then I'll come in and I'll try to finish off where he left off, and I'm like, where the fuck? Like, this one's clean, this one's not. And I'm trying to figure out like what fucking way he went in cleaning mode. Because sometimes he used to go around. Yeah, he used to go around like in a circle like a snake, and then he'd go right to left or up and down. I'm like, what? And it was just so frustrating because I'm like, that doesn't make fucking sense. Left to right, down, left to right, down, left to right. Like, just do it this way. But,
dude, Austin's on another level, dude. Austin's on another level.
But things
going crazy
like that,
with those trick shots.
Yeah, but he comes in, does what he needs to do. I wouldn't be as successful, with him. I'd still be successful, but just not as. He's awesome. I love having him around. He, when I'm so over, I overthink things, or there's so much going on that sometimes something so little in front of me that I miss, or even something complex, he'll point it out, because it's like, hey, Billy, man, that won't work. Sure it will. No, it won't. Why? Okay, yeah, you're right. Like, you know what I mean? So he keeps me on my toes. And I know he's there for the best interest of mutation creation as well. And I know he's benefited from it and will continue to. But, he's young. He still has his own ways. And then I have my own ways. I'm fucking stubborn, and my way is the best. And it's just hard for me to have, trusted in somebody that I've taken, 16 years to get to, and finally, have someone to work with and trust and confide in, and, help take the reins of a company that I love and I've put so much hard work and time and dedication in. And, we bump heads, but I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. Just like I tell you stories.
Big respect for giving him a percentage of the company, dude. That's
100%, and then like, a lion down the road, And that's the thing. Like people always say, "Oh fuck, you guys, you're just in it for the money." Really? I mean, I had a pretty good facility. You know what I mean? I just went out and spent 90,000 on racks and another 200,000 renovating and other shit. I could have kept 290 in my fucking pocket. But why? I put it back into a snake facility for another 10 years that I probably won't even get it all out. But it's I love it, And with Austin, I mean, I know that, the amount of stuff he's done and, even the team, even the podcast, everything we do, it's we're different than many other people. We have something that not many people can duplicate or have. And, I fully trust my staff. I mean, even with, Catherine on the team now, a godsend, just everyone works aligned with what he does. We're all different. We all do our things. And it's such an amazing fit. And I don't want anybody to replace them. If we're bringing other people on, it's to add to our team, not take away from it. And, whatever it costs me to keep them and have them happy is what it's going to be, because Mutation Creation is us. It's not Billy, it's Mutation Creation. I'm just the starter of it and, the majority owner, but I wouldn't be where I'm at and have, the feeling I have, and, because so many times when you do this by yourself, especially when you we all do it. Well, I wouldn't say all, but most of us, you overspend, you have too much, and you're like, holy fuck, what did I do? And you're so stressed out because you can never catch up, and, you're missing pairings, or you didn't get enough food or something.
It's such the right mindset, Billy, the way you're running it over there. It's such the right mindset, the way you're running it over there. Very much.
But
I think it's awesome, Billy. I think that's awesome that what you're doing. I think that's the respect people give to you, the fact that you do give back, in many ways, and I think we see that through how you are as a person, how passionate you are as a person, and I think for a big breeder like yourself to give back and to say, what, I'm just me. Without them, I wouldn't be. I think that's amazing. A lot of people say it's all about me. I did this. It's not about you, the way you present yourself, what you're saying. I give you a lot of respect for that you see others besides yourself.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it is. I mean, there's so much in this industry that if you open your eyes and just give your head a quick shake and look around and see what's around you, there's so much more than just making money. There's so much more than just buying and trying to compete with somebody. There's so much you can get out of this. Like I can look at my bank account and have a really good month of sales and go, holy fuck, man, wow. But then I look at a fucking message where someone sends me, hey, I was in this position and, my family gave me one more chance. I got in and, my son watched your channel and I watched it. Now we're breeding, I've been, clean for so long and, I'm in such a better place and we're doing this. You inspire me and your team. There's nothing fucking like that. And it's funny because I don't do YouTube to inspire people. I just fucking put the camera on just like now and talk. I'm always the same. I'm always excited. I'm hyperactive. I have all these little quirks, but that's me. And just by being myself and doing what I love, people want to get into this and learn. And it's so amazing because I'm not even trying to do this. I'm just doing shit that I love. And people are getting in and saying, hey, you know what? You inspire me. You made me get my first ball python. It's because of you. I've been learning stuff and I had my first clutch. Thank you. There's nothing like that. There isn't a dollar amount that fucking you could put on the table that gives you the same. Oh my God. Like I've read some stories and fucking cried like, holy shit. Like, I won't get into it, but I mean, there's some, wow. I mean, I can't even.
It's infectious, Billy. It's infectious.
It is.
If you guys go hang out with Billy and you're not climbing racks and humping them, then you didn't really get the experience. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, the very first time I ever met Brian, it was just fucking like, holy fuck, like, here's another loony. Woo! Let's just go. It was just fun, man.
All right, so let me ask Matt. I got one for Matt. You know what I mean? So Matt, if you had to get rid of one, which would you get rid of? Ball pythons or the blood, man?
I know that answer.
Oh, we know.
You have to eliminate, you know what I mean?
I couldn't get rid of all of them because there's some that, like, from my first like I would never get rid of, and get rid of sounds horrible because
it does sound bad. Okay, let's just say focus 100% on.
Yeah, I mean, I would totally do the shorts, but I mean, I would always have a couple ball pythons just because we produced them. My son has one. My wife has one. There's no way they would ever let me, get rid of their animals, So we'll always have a couple, just like we have 2 female Burms, man. I mean, we were gonna actually breed the Burms. I had a male, and I got kind of, I just kind of really thought about what it was going to require to, and you sell these to people that might not understand. Oh, it's a cool little. It's gonna get big. Yeah, like no, bitch, this is gonna get huge. Like this ain't gonna be. This is a big snake. So that really, I mean, the thought of letting one of those out the door to someone that wouldn't be ready in a year, I mean, that kind of totally made me realize that they just need to be our pets. And they are, man. They're like Labradors, essentially. When you walk in, they feel me walking on the floor because we have hardwood floors they're sitting on and literally in our living room. They will come out of their hide and, they're like dogs, man. But to answer your question, if I had to focus 100% of my time and everything on one thing, it would be the short tails. All 3 species.
Could have fooled me, buddy.
Do what?
That's cool though.
All right, I got one. I might be going in this little order, but I got one for everyone. Brian.
That's what he said.
hey, before you ask your question, I just want to say that I every time I go on to any kind of live stream, I always go in hoping that I'm going to have maybe a fraction of the amount of fun that I would have hanging out with reptile people at a show. And you guys have done that for me here today. I've had some exceptional laughs and really good times hanging out with you folks right here on this stream. So congratulations. That's if I wasn't having a good time, I would have walked off. The only reason I walked off just now because I was having like too good a time. I had to leave. I was like, so thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Too much.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
So Brian,
in other words, don't ask him a fucked up question.
No, I love questions.
I'm not gonna ask him a fucked up question.
No, please ask me the most fun. One thing people don't ever do is ask me the fucked up questions. I was like,
okay, it's a little fucked up, Brian.
There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
All right,
let's get it.
About 1 month ago or so.
Yeah, I fucked up. I'm sorry.
You fucked up and you drank your own urine.
Oh no! Hold on a second.
That's another time. That's another time.
Oh my god.
Now, did you like it? And have you secretly been taking a few drinks every once in a while?
No, I'll be 100% honest with you. That was the first time and the last time. And no, it was boring. It didn't have, I prepared in the fact that I didn't eat any asparagus. I had mostly water that day. And it was like, I was literally, if you watch the stream, and by the way, we raised money and lots of money going to US Ark. And I was smelling it like I was like,
that's awesome.
I saw that, man.
I was trying to get something out of it and I was like, no, there's nothing. Look, I'm drinking.
You had notes of like
there was like a slight grassy note. Man, that was a messed up question. So I've got a video going out tomorrow with my daughter, and we're showing off some snakes and talking about US Ark and a couple other things in the video. And she just kind of looks up. She looks over. She goes, "Dad, you remember? I said US Ark, and I was talking about US Ark, and she immediately goes, remember when you pee in the cup? And you, I was like, yeah, I remember. So you drank it? I was like, yeah. I did that. That happened. Yeah, you're right. You're right, T. She said, you should drink whiskey instead. She says. I was like, I don't know. What was the question?
Hold on, you were dreaming. You know,
I just
a dream.
I don't remember where it came. You know what it came from? I shared the whole story about where and why like it happened and where it came from. But yeah, I don't know. I don't give a shit. I'll do some crazy shit. That's nothing compared to some of the shit I will do. I promise you that. Like, you think drinking pee was weird?
Bro,
ain't
I just
nothing.
can't see myself.
You know how many people drink pee on this earth? You know how many? That was nothing. You want to see weird? You want to see nothing.
Was that guy on that survival channel? Bear Grylls? Yeah, he does it all the time.
Yeah, see,
all the time.
It's like it's like water mostly. It was boring, honestly.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun to get the excitement going behind it and stuff. And it's also fun to watch kids like oh. Garrett's kids too. Like all Garrett's kids used to know me for being like, oh, Brian's got this disease where he only, he looks older, but he's actually 7. And they've switched from that to where now that the only thing they know is that, oh yeah, he drank his pee. And I guess I'll never live it down, but I don't care. I just have to do something more weird now, so it could be like
to top it. You gotta top that. You gotta top.
What's gonna be next? That's the real question. What's next?
I don't know.
I
had a question.
Let me know.
I'd like to hear the answer from everybody. Can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I couldn't find you. I was like, where are
If you could have dinner with one person living or dead, who would it be and why?
Jimi Hendrix.
Let's start with
Oh, sorry. I spoke out of turn.
No, go ahead.
Jimi Hendrix.
Brian.
Jimi Hendrix. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a 2-word answer. And why?
Yeah,
Because
you gotta give a why though.
Because he is, in my opinion, which is probably the right opinion, best guitar player of all time ever. Because he had some direct tap from the universe and the all-knowing, ever lived before after circle of universe. Went right from there, right through his fingertips onto that guitar and out of his mind. Maybe it was a little too much acid. Who knows? However, good Lord, man. Jimi Hendrix saved my life once, and he was already dead. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. Fight me. I want to hear somebody beat that. And I want to hear somebody beat that. Give me a reason
How
why.
about you, Rome? Rome, you're up.
Oh man. Alive or dead?
Alive or dead? Jimi Hendrix is kind of dead, so.
He's kind of dead. I was thinking more of the alive part, but.
Okay, we'll come back to you. We'll circle back.
Yeah, circle back to me. Let me think on that one.
McGuigan Brothers. McGuigan Brothers.
No. So personally, me, I would want to have a dinner with my grandmother. She passed away like a few years ago, and the reason why we named our business or our company after McGUIGAN Morphs was because that was her last name. So I would just want to sit there and ask her and pick her brain and ask her what she thought about it and if she was proud of us for what we're doing. So I think that would be my pick. I mean.
You win. You win.
Yeah, no, good idea, man.
That story's way better. That story's way better than
And I feel like an asshole now.
Literally, that was in my head, but then I was like, you know what? Let me not. I don't want to make it all like mushy and stuff, but yeah, we lost our grandma way too early, and this business was just made right behind her name. So it was just the fact that I think I would want to just be with her for a nice dinner, and just talk to her.
I want to change my answer to my grandpa.
Yeah, me too.
You only get one answer.
So I changed it.
Sorry, Brian.
Yeah. Jimi Hendrix is cool.
Yeah. My grandpa is cooler though, for sure.
All right.
Billy, how about you?
O'Malley,
Well, now it just seems like it's like I'm just fucking copying everyone else.
Just say Hendrix. Just say Hendrix, Billy. Get it out there.
No, actually, it is my grandma, and the reason being is because she was the only one that actually, because when I grew up, it was always like I was always a handful. I was always hyper. I was always into shit. I was always, in trouble or pulling, my parents would like, hey, go over there because I need a break. And she was the only one that would really, push me and believed in me. And I had all these desires and wants, and she always believed in me, and sort of put that thing where don't let anybody tell you, that you're too much. You're the way you are for a certain reason, and just be like that. And it's funny because years after, I didn't really follow that. It was always like I tried to change, and people like, why don't you ever go on medication? I tried. I just didn't like how it made me feel. And now years later, just being me and being even on internet so much, people accept me for me, and I feel better being me. And it's always she's the only person that I can think of back in the day that always said, don't change who you are for anybody and just be you. And, everybody else was like, holy fuck, Billy. Like, I gave my mom, God, I don't know how she put up with me, man. Like, but, I was a handful back then to everybody else. I was just a terror. And she was the only one that basically, accepted me and said, just be who you are and don't change. So,
Billy, I want to give big props to your grandma right now, because that's huge. Like, the person you are, the person you actually are is I know it inspires a lot of people, but it really inspires me, like the way you are. And so that's huge. As somebody who didn't really have somebody say that specifically, just be yourself. It was always like, oh, you got to do this different, you got to do that different. Like somebody to recognize
in high
that.
school, I had the same thing. I felt like I had to change, and I was too hyper. Everybody else was calm, and I'm fucking woo bouncing, like whoa, chill out. And I always felt out of place. I really did, and I still do, sort of, because like everybody's like, oh man, this guy's got to be on cocaine, or no man, that's just how I am, right? And I even now I'm fucking turning 51 next month, and people still judge me of how I am as a person, and they have no idea. But I'm me, and I love me, and I'm it's a lot easier just to pretend than not to pretend and just be yourself, and that's all I'm doing, and I feel good about it. And I just everybody else sort of. Even my doctor said, oh, man, you shouldn't put too much pressure on yourself, and you shouldn't open up your own business. It's probably best for you to work for someone else. I'm like, fuck that shit. Like, so, my God, man.
Well, that's good, though, because, you got to start with yourself. You got to love yourself first. At the same time, like you, Billy, and Brian, there's a different approach you guys do. You guys are not one-dimensional. So when people look at you guys, when people watch you guys are real people. You guys act normal. You guys act like who you are.
Well, I wouldn't say normal.
Yeah. Drop the A.
Yeah.
But you guys are not one-dimensional in a way where you're basically hiding behind the screen. So you
seven-dimensional. Seven-dimensional.
You guys are good. You guys are who you are. That's why people appreciate you guys. And people like you guys.
Yeah. And I never thought I had a disability. It was always like all this energy. So
the difference is I'm always working on myself, and Billy is perfect how he is. That's true. It's true. I've got a lot of work to do. Billy is perfect how he is. That's what I see. That's what I see.
I wouldn't say perfect how I am. I still have a lot of things that I deal with. Like,
well, that's your opinion, sir.
I appreciate that, my friend.
It's true.
Thank you.
Matt, who would you have dinner with?
I would probably have dinner with
Tracy Barker.
Probably, to be honest with you,
there's some cool little noises happening back there, but I can't hear Matt.
Music in the background.
That's me.
It's the xylophone or something. I don't know.
Who is it?
I don't know, but now I hear Matt.
What's up, guys? Just to kick it, I mean, I would probably say Chris Farley, to be honest.
Oh shit!
Good one.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Just to fucking enjoy that, I guess. You know, I remember that my whole childhood just being amazing, and to get to experience that for a couple hours would probably be life changing, I'd say. And in his soberish days, like not like 97 Chris Farley, more like maybe 95 Chris Farley. So we don't get together. You know, that would be nice. I would rather just like maybe have a nice meal and laugh a little bit, and then come back home to my family instead of going to jail and possibly dying. So.
Matt, what if he was like, "Hey, no laughing until the cameras turn on, man. Just shut up."
You're like,
and then he was like, "No, seriously."
No, seriously, shut up. I'm trying to eat.
Shut up. What'd you think? This was gonna be fucking funny? Shut up. Joke's on you, asshole. Eat your
I got something for the McGUIGAN brother. You guys are 10 years apart, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys work closely together in this, you know, hobby, business you guys have. What's the biggest fight you guys gotten into?
Oh yeah.
that's a good one. I want this one.
And who?
Hey, I wish my question was that good. That's a great question. I can't wait for this.
You mean within like
Fight now! Fight now!
You mean within like the whole breeding or just in general?
Whatever. I mean, just in general, you guys see each other all the time.
Tell me it's something to do with the mustache.
I was encouraging him to grow it so it matches our logo. But truthfully, honestly, like we don't really fight that much. Like we'll have
we're the boring brothers. We're not the brothers that you see on TV that fight out.
Man,
we'll have
games in New York. It's not like games in New York where you guys like.
Yeah. Well, like we're together. That's the thing.
No, like I'll have my brothers back no matter what.
Yeah.
Like if anything happens, I'm out there trying to help him. It's just I have a bond with him because he's my brother. He's my only brother. We have two sisters, so like they're older than us, but they also have our bond with us. But that's my brother. I gotta have his back no matter
what. That's the thing. It's just like there's been times where we've both been at our lows. And those are the times that we know that we got to be there for each other. So, like, I don't know, like, even if there was a fight, I'm always the one or he's always the one that just, like, at that point, like, later in the day, yo, cut that shit out. Let's fucking talk to each other again.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'll curse him out.
Yeah,
I'll curse him out.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, it's like, yo, we need business to get done. So let's get this shit going because it has to happen.
Like, stop all the bullshit. Let's just fucking talk.
I think maybe you guys were just too many years apart because all the brothers I knew growing up were a little closer, and they would always put each other in the hospital. Like,
oh yeah,
no. We've had times like we were in that WWE phase where we started like throwing each other off fucking like couches and
he
shit,
was small
man.
enough to be like that dummy.
I got a little brother. He knocked me out last year, 2 years ago. Knocked me right out cold.
It sounds like you're still feeling the effects.
Yeah, he's like, he got all scared because he never knocked anybody out before.
Oh no.
You out.
Yeah.
I got one more. I got one more question for you guys too as well. What is your favorite chick flick movie, you guys?
No.
Run, Ronnie, run.
Favorite
Love it.
Chick flick.
Notebook.
Love it.
Notebook.
I just watched it the other day.
I love the Notebook. I love the Notebook.
The other chick flick that we watch all the time. Your favorite chick flick.
Who said that?
I got
Notebook. I did. It was awesome.
Like Grey's Anatomy.
Frozen 2.
Outlander.
Right.
I love Frozen 2. I cried. I still cry with Frozen 2.
The second one?
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
I'll cry right now. Don't make me do it.
Just because of a little lizard, though, right? Just because a little gecko.
Oh yeah, the little fire gecko. Dude. Oh, my God. There's a fire salamander. I think I feel like no.
Whatever it was.
Steel magnolias.
Oof.
Steel magnolia.
Iron butterfly.
I don't even know what that is.
In the God of the Vita, baby.
Yeah.
No.
That's old.
Billy got me. Billy's got my bag on that one.
I'll think on that old. I tried playing that on a guitar once.
After 10 minutes, you gave up.
Yeah.
Ooh, White Oleander. How about White Oleander?
Oh yeah.
That's a book, maybe. I don't know. Ooh, right on time. Are we cheersing? Because I have to go.
So we have one more little segment. That one's a quick one. We're gonna do this on every episode. Choose your mentor, right? There's a list of 5. We have now.
And you can't pick yourself if you're on there.
Right.
Let them know that,
Yeah.
Benny.
Yeah,
And
you
there's a
can pick
couple of them
yourself.
that are on here.
You said list of 5?
It's a list of 5 people. These 5 people will run for the remainder of the year. The list will probably change, or we'll adjust the list. It just at the end of the year, we'll send out a gift. We have Justin Kabolka. We got Billy Rose. We got Brian Barczyk, Kevin from Nerd, and Ozzy. So if you had to choose,
I only heard
your
3.
mentor. Okay, Justin, Billy, Barczyk, Kevin, and Ozzy.
Yes.
This is easy for me. I get one out of the way.
You can't pick yourself, Billy. If you had to pick,
I got less choices. This
who
one.
would you pick?
Oh, easy for me. Myself?
So go for it, Billy.
Oh, it's really hard. I mean, you know, what Kevin does with animals and just the way he is, we're so much alike. I have so much respect for him. I think he'd be great to learn from for a whole bunch of other reasons. Ozzy's amazing for, you know, so much, especially his mindset and his attitude and everything else. But because I'm in ball pythons and, you know, I have some mad respect for all of them, but it would definitely be Justin, you know, just because, you know, his creativity, marketing, the way, what he's done, you know, and I think, you know, everyone, even Brian, everybody would be an asset, but I think overall, I would have to go with Justin.
What about you, Matt?
Kevin McCurley.
Kevin. Brian?
He's
Don't be too excited, man.
So I love I picked it before you even listed the names. How about that? You just happened to be on the list.
When you said the fucking the gift now.
Nah, before you even asked. Like when you said the question didn't name any names yet, I already had it picked and you happen to have one on the name, which I guess isn't too surprising. Justin, I only can't pick because he's not a big music fan. Like he doesn't really like music, and so that doesn't work for me. But I love everything else he does. Ozzy, if I was looking to invest in the stock market, that's my guy. And Ozzy's also a cool ass cat. I love hanging with real estate. Yeah, and he's just a cool ass cat. He's so mellow, chill. I love hanging with Ozzy.
So down to earth. He's just awesome.
Super awesome. Kevin is like next level. Like the amount of information that Kevin has in his brain and somehow is able to actually communicate to normal humans.
Yeah.
That's nothing short of inspirational. It's really not. It's not. Like it's just crazy how much he's like a savant. He's a reptile keeping savant. The guy. And he's able to communicate that to such normal people that he can even communicate it to legislative bodies, and they're like, "Tell us more." It's like, how do you do that? And Billy is obviously right here. Billy, I love Billy. I would spend every day with Billy until I got so sick of him. I was like, "All right, let's take a day off, bro. Let's take one day off, and then we'll come back. We'll do it tomorrow." But Brian Barczyk is probably the hardest working. Able to take more shit and still come out and support people, and just a good guy that will give you the shirt off his back literally and take time for everybody in this world that needs it, and has also turned more people around regardless of anything anybody has said to the guy. Nobody else other than Brian Barczyk has turned more people's minds around about how snakes and reptiles are. Yep. And take me from the people that are every snake's a good snake to I love snakes. Nobody short of maybe Steve Irwin, has turned more people's minds around about reptiles than Brian Barczyk. And all of that package that I just mentioned, as far as like how he is as a person, how he will give you the shirt off his back, and Brian Bart, I had that answer in my head before you listed the names.
Yep.
What about you, Mike and Charlie?
I think it's the same for both of us. Billy,
Not just because you're here.
not just because you're here, but like,
Yeah,
before-
sure. No, appreciate
No,
that.
no, I swear on everything. Like before we
Brown
even-
noser.
before we,
That's what I have. That, you thought that was a mustache, right?
yeah, but before we got into anything, like before we got to snakes and stuff, it was just like we used to watch you, we followed you on our private accounts, like we were just into you and we loved everything you were doing and things like that. And then like when we just saw like what you were doing, like it just wanted us, like it inspired us to just go out and do that. Like we just wanted to, like literally, like what we're thinking right now is we want to be you. That's all it is. Like we're just inspired to get to that level, to just be who you are, do whatever you want, and just be you in this community. And we just love that.
Like for me personally, like the way that you are, Billy, you know, like the way you love your animals, and when we watched that video about the FedEx problem, like seeing that, like I saw, like wow, you know, like he really does love his animals, and like you know, we have the same compassion for our animals, and to see like your goals as to being, you know, into a bigger facility, like that inspires us to try to be a facility one day too, and the way that you shout out all the smaller people, you know, like your kind gesture to like everybody's pages. You watch our stories, you know, like the day that you watch our stories and even check out our stuff, I'm like, holy shit.
The day that you followed us, it was just like we were like whoa. It was just like what?
But
was this?
and I love that. And what's great about it is, you know what? It takes a fucking click of a button.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, when I give a shout out for stickers or a shirt, it does nothing. It just basically opens up my mouth and words come out, and I can change someone's day or give them a push. It's so easy, and I'm glad I see a lot of other people starting to do it now, even some of the bigger breeders, and I think it's great, and I think more people will see it, and you know, it's like, oh, we got to follow these steps, we got to do this too, and I think it's contagious, and I hope so, because I think it's definitely what we need. And you know, the little breeders and people just getting in, and even big breeders, man, we should all be supporting each other no matter where we are, what we're doing, or what our goals are, for sure. But I appreciate that, man. Much love.
I think that's why when like we do our lives, we love to do shout outs for the sticker swaps, you know, like people love to see that we do our sticker shout outs, we do our shirt shout outs. So I think just your inspiration was what pushed us even the extra limit.
Like a lot of the stuff that we do is just based off of what you've been doing.
So I think you would be
And
like
just like, yeah, you're
best mentor.
Yeah.
Sweet, man. Some stuff. I love it.
Hey, by the way, our sister was watching your video.
Rushed the other day.
She always tells us, "Oh man, did you watch what Billy showed today?"
She's been binge watching your whole YouTube.
Who's this?
My sister. Her name is Abby, and she was like, "Oh man, tell Billy I love him." So if she's watching, I hope she heard us.
Awesome. Thanks, Abby.
There you go.
So what about you, Rome?
I'm gonna
Justin, Billy.
I'm probably gonna go with Kevin just because he's got that no nonsense type, straight to your face kind of, you know, and that's it. And he's doing so much for the community and fighting for rights and everything like that. And I just love the way he, you know, even with like the spider morphs and all that, the way he just comes back with that. I mean, it's legit in your face. I don't care what you say. Here it is.
Dude, Kevin throws his nuts on the table and they're bigger than everybody else's every single time.
100%.
Every
Not
single
a
time.
contest. Not even a contest.
Yeah, and in my personal life, I'm that way with my personal life and the way I talk to people, and I don't, you know, they get the real me. I don't sugarcoat anything, and I just feel like we would get along, or we would clash heads, and it would just happen.
I've done that with him. We should. I think the next time you guys do the list, there was in the chat Brian Gundy with that. That's I know Mary said you're going to add it to the next time on the list, and I'd also like to add. This is out of left field a little bit, but David Attenborough. I mean, come on.
David Attenborough? Oh wow!
Attenborough.
I watched the one of his older documentaries, probably 2 nights ago when I was falling asleep. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's
And
great.
it was a slow-mo reel when you see things in slow-mo, and how it was just so sick. I'm like, wow, man, just nature and how shit works, and it was really cool. The bumblebee and how it moves, and he was doing pea shooters and watching them. It was fucking so cool, man.
Hey,
Bro, sick.
dude, this has been a great time, man. I've had a blast here.
So that's pretty much. I mean,
We appreciate that.
Everyone that joined in the chats, you guys that accepted and joined. Really, this is a sincere thank you to everyone. It really does mean a lot to us. We have a lot more coming. So we're Birdie episode 2, episode 3. Stay tuned. Thank you to everyone, and we're gonna raise our glasses and
Thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate you
Thanks for
guys.
having me.
Thank you.
Cheers. Salud.
Sancha.
Salute.
So, hasta luego. Till next time.
Sí, señor.
Stay safe and healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Y'all
have a good one.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Peace, guys.
Keep us on.